Good morning, fam. I know y'all like early in the morning. Yes, I'm up. We got service early as heck today, so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and drop this. Let me get my thoughts about Rampage, Smackdown, and what I thought about Collision from last night. There's a lot of things that transpired in the world of wrestling. I want to talk about this current situation that's got everybody talking. Uh, right here, the All Japan uh, wrestling company or whatever just got connected with WWE or something like that. I guess WWE's going to be trying to have. They trying to take over Japan again. I guess I don't know. I mean, if this is gonna help them get more of the New Japan folk over there, fine. I'm not really tripping about it. I've seen a lot of people going off about it and all this stuff. I'm like, it is what it is to me because like I said, it is what it is. Um, Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, y'all. Um, SmackDown. The best thing about SmackDown, Roman Reigns sit down with Nick Aldis. That might have been the best thing, and I could tell you, Nick Aldis is not intimidated by the Tribal Chief. That sit down was pretty much like, all right, I'm here to introduce myself to you. I finally get to know who you are, but I ain't scared of you. And then the Tribal Chief said, you out here making all these decisions without consulting me. And he looked at him and said, do I give a crap? Did I stutter? I'm like, look, this last run that Roman Reigns is going to be on, if he is potentially going to lose that championship, if Triple H and them really want to tell an epic story about the fall of the bloodline, he has every tool that he needs in place. And it starts going into the Royal Rumble. So we had a women's fatal four-way, no, 8-woman tag team, no DQ tables match or whatever. I was okay with the match even though it was a rematch. My problem is, why in the world do you have the champion get pinned in the I just knew it. I was like, I know H ain't gonna be a dummy. I just know he's not gonna be a dummy. And guess what he did? Io got pinned. She got pinned by freaking Mia Yim. I said you had every other girl in the group to get pinned by Mia Yim, which would set up the matchup, the potential matchup that we getting at SmackDown New Year's Resolution. Mia Yim versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. I'm like, dog, I listen, I don't give a care because people always be acting like the only time I get upset is when somebody black has a championship and they get pinned. I said, no, I don't like my champions. I don't care what race they are. I don't care if they're male, female. I don't give a care. If they're getting pinned in a non-title match, it's stupid. That's why I'm going to give Tony Khan props on what he did last night by having Sky Blue get pinned by Thunder Rosa instead of Julia Hart get pinned. Didn't make no sense. So I said champions getting pinned in non-title matches is straight dumb. Melo versus Kevin Owens in the United States tournament to determine who's going to face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. That match was very good. Like I said, Melo is getting he's getting his opportunities right now because at this point Melo's getting ready to be moved up. He won't be moved up to after his feud is done with Trick Williams. Like, that's basically what's going to pop off. Soon as his feud is done with Trick Williams, that's when he'll be coming up to the main roster. But then we had Bobby Lashley versus Esteban. Esteban is now rolling with Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, whatever his name is, because he's not rolling with his homeboys anymore. Like, they joined up with him. What else happened on the show on SmackDown? Because I honestly, the main event, Solo versus AJ Styles. AJ won, but it turned out basically be a beat down from everybody. Roman came out of nowhere, beat the snot out of AJ. Then you had Randy come out of nowhere. Then you had LA Knight, and then you had Jimmy in there. So it was pretty much turned into a 6-man tag team match, which is pretty much going to be the situation. So as of right now, there's going to be a triple threat, and the triple threat is going to determine who's going to get Roman at the Royal Rumble. In other words, who gets to be the guy to lose to Roman at the Royal Rumble. I'm telling y'all right now, it's going to be a fatal 4-way. That triple threat will not end in a with somebody pinning somebody. It's going to end in a no contest. I'm telling you right now. You might as well pencil it in. Fatal 4-way is happening at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, outside of that, I really didn't give a crap about nothing on SmackDown. Like I said, Bobby Lashley and them, I genuinely don't know what they're doing with Bobby Lashley and them. I don't. I genuinely, I want to get on board, but again, I can't because I tell y'all all the time, H&M has absolutely no idea how to deal with us and just don't. They teased this new faction that's getting ready to get started. Karrion Kross, his wife, about to join up with APP. That's the Altars of Pain, and I forgot the older gentleman that was with them. The 5 of them getting ready to roll together. I'm going to tell you this. This is Karrion Kross's final opportunity to somehow get over with the fans. This is it. Because I told you I ain't really gave a crap about him, and this is it. This is the final opportunity for him. The final one. If this faction does not get over, I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, that was pretty much SmackDown. Rampage, y'all already know. The only match I cared about on Rampage was Queen Amita. She went against Sky Blue, or as what we call her now, Sky Black, based on what she looked like last night. Queen Amita didn't, you know she wasn't winning. I seen people crying online. Listen, I told you, Tony Khan, this is what you need to do. I get it. If I personally, I'm really starting to feel like Ring of Honor is our show because I mean we dominated on Ring of Honor. That's all. That's all we at. I can see like that's where Tony Khan wants us to be at. But this was just basically for Amita to get a showing. Obviously, you know she wasn't winning. I didn't give a care about Vikingo versus Taurus. I didn't care, no, because it's random. And I feel like Vikingo is losing his star power by being featured every week in nothing matches. And I'm like, Tony Khan, bro, what are we doing? This story between Ku Hange and Ruby Soho, listen, I personally think I feel like it would be more important if Ruby and Soraya was involved in the title picture. That's just me. I mean, TK and them are trying to tell, they trying to do something. You got Soraya over here acting like she don't want them to be together, then she do. It's just weird. It's very weird. The Kingdom beat the snot out of some bums. And it was one more match. But like I said, Rampage, like I said, this is what I want for Tony Khan and them. I want a freaking draft. I was talking to somebody on Twitter because I had left a comment on this young lady. If y'all don't know who Miss Lyric is, Miss Lyric is a up and coming wrestling journalist. She's a hardcore wrestling fan. She's a sister, and she basically said that outside of maybe a couple matches going in the World's End, she's not really feeling the vibe or anything. Now she know more than likely pay-per-views are probably gonna be good. So I pretty much said, well, one of the major reasons is because Tony Khan and them waits way too dang long to start building towards the pay-per-view. I'm like, he'll wait 3 weeks, and next thing you know, okay, let me start announcing match. I'm like, no. What TK and them needs to do moving forward into 2024, a draft needs to happen. I don't give a care what nobody gonna say. I don't care. You got 9 titles on this company. 9 titles are. And you're trying your best to make things feel important. I'm like, no. 5 on Dynamite and Rampage. The other 4 will be determined over on Collision. This way, now you know for a fact. When I watch Dynamite and Rampage, I know who I'm seeing. When I watch Collision, I know who I'm seeing. And then you can focus on said divisions because now you got the said people on said show. And I'm like, all right, now I can build up. Now I got more time to tell better stories and everything. That's basically what I had told the cats up in the doggone comment section on her Twitter thing. And that's basically what I want. Because like I said, I feel like Tony Khan didn't do this stuff way too much. It's like, all right, let me take 15 million years to get to where I'm trying to go. And then I'm like, and then when the pay-per-view come through, everybody be like, oh, the pay-per-view was great. I'm like, yeah, because what Tony Khan and them focuses on, they focus way too much on the pro wrestling side of things. They don't really focus on trying to tell a better story. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what we need to happen going into 2024. And it looked like it's a couple of clowns that got let go. Matt Jackson's wife, Dana, she was released. She was in control of the merchandise and everything. Good. Then there was this other dude named Rajel or Raphael. He got the boot. I said, great. Get rid of the dead weight. You've been in the business for 5 years now. It's time to bring in people that's going to help you not only market your company right, but people that's going to help you along the way. Tell better stories. Help you get butts and seats. Whatever. Sell merchandise. It's time to be, like I said, you want to be a big boy company, it's time to get with the big boys. Like I said, this foolishness and playing games and all this stuff, it's got to go. It's genuinely got to go, man. I'm serious. But like I said, Friday Night Wrestling, man, it wasn't there for me. Regardless, like I said, Rampage, Smackdown, I know they tried to build towards the shows or whatever, but it just they just wasn't important. Like it's the same thing, Rampage, randomness. That's not how I move. That's just not how I move. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about freaking Collision. Collision was decent. Like I said, I thought last week was a lot better. But we wrapped up the blue side on the doggone Continental Classic side of things. Like I said, moving forward, if you're going to be doing this every year around this time, what you need to do is you need to get a focus on what you're going to do. Because a lot of people talk about how the storylines that popped up out of there, there's a lot of people that actually like this. I thought the Continental Classic overall, I thought it was a huge success. Could have been told a little bit better if you probably had upsets every now and then. But for the most part, I thought they did a pretty solid job. But we're going to break down this whole show. We opened up the show, and I had a feeling that this matchup was going to be a draw because everybody in the BCC, all they want to do is win. They'll do whatever it takes to get the victory. Brian versus Claudio. They did this scene in the matchup where it took place where they was basically on the mat and they was holding on to each other's arms and they was about to get pinned by one another. They kept getting up. This was a move that they did years ago when they wrestled each other. I don't know where they were. It probably was in Ring of Honor somewhere. But came down to a draw. I knew that this matchup was going to be a draw because neither one of them wanted to lose. So because it came down to a draw, Brian moves on to the finals automatically. Claudio, because he'd been pinned a couple of times, that's it. So, but like I said, great opening match. Like I said, they did what they had to do. So after them, we got the Top Flight and Action Andrade versus the Acclaim and Daddy A for the World's Trios Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, like exactly what I told you. This right here, the Trios division should be determined on Collision. Trios division should be mainly focused on Collision. So every week, you're going to get Trios matches and you're going to get storylines that's revolving around the Trios titles. That's what I'm doing. The Trios titles will be Collision and Collision only. You're not going to catch them on no doggone Dynamite and Rampage. You want to see them, you see them on Saturday nights. That's how the game going to work with me. I want the Top Flight and them to win so bad because the Acclaim ain't really done nothing. They've been out. Like I said, they storyline, they dealing with the doggone devil and his goons. That's what the storyline with them is. So I'm like, okay, how about we go ahead and let Top Flight and Action Andrade actually run rampant with these doggone titles, and you can revamp the whole situation around them. The titles will be around them, and guess what? Now you're building up LFI, you're building up Penta and his group, you're building up who's another trios that they got. I know he out right now, but once Juice Robinson get back, you can do something with them. I mean, you got multiple trios there. Heck, the Righteous and Lance Archer. You got multiple trios there that you have that's going to be mainly focused on freaking Collision. The tag team scene is going to be on Dynamite and Rampage. That's what I'm doing. This is a very good matchup. Cats is all over the place. Super kicking folk left and right. There was kind of some miscommunications between the Acclaim. I mean, there was a spot where you didn't really know if cats was upset with one another. It was like, man, I said, what's going on here? So that right there, Top Flight was taking advantage of it. They took advantage of it now. It was rightfully so. Action Andrade getting in there, doing what he got to do. Daddy A in there just laying foods out left and right. I mean, Hey, there's a lot of action, but the Acclaimed walked in and they walked out with their trios championships, and I kind of wish we would have got something out of it, because I just feel like, okay, we had a great match, but it was nothing. It was like, boom. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, we needed something to take place or something. Like the next storyline involving the Acclaim or something should have taken place right there or something. You know what I mean? That's what we want. After you do your matchup, whatever the storyline is supposed to be taking place, that's what you do. But apparently, Tony Khan, let me keep the championships on them. They've been gone for a little bit. Okay, that's that. So now we move on. We get a yeah, I just told you about the backstage situation. Oh yeah, okay. So Daddy A on commentary, Kelly, all them clowning because we getting ready for the matchup. We got a backstage segment. We got Hook looking like he on just getting off the train or something like that. He called out Yuta, said, "Yo, since you've been trying to chase me down, we're gonna have my matchup, my rules on my turf at World's End or something like that." I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. Remember when I tell you certain storylines that don't matter shouldn't be on the pay-per-view? I get it. That's where he from. If this storyline had legs, I wouldn't mind it being on the show. But again, this is where Tony Khan and them lack creativity. Creativity makes your storyline feel like if it's important. If it's important, I'm putting it on the pay-per-view. If it's not important, you get stuck on Dynamite or Rampage. That's just what it is. And I personally think that this is a Rampage or Dynamite matchup. This is not a pay-per-view worthy match. I know the young man is from Long Island, New York. I get it. But I wouldn't be doing this on a freaking pay-per-view. But there's your matchup. Yuta versus Hook for the FTW Championship. Big meaty men matchup. Brian Cage versus Keith Lee. We are revamping the storyline between Keith and Swerve. A lot of people have been wondering how come they didn't do it. I'm going to go out on a limb. One of the major reasons why Tony Khan and them kind of dropped out of it, I think it might have something to do with Keith Lee's health. They keeping it under closed doors. But these two, they went at it. Brian Cage and Keith Lee, they showed up and showed out, man. And then you had Prince Nana out there doing a little silly dance. Went and got a doggone cinder block. Tried to cheat right in front of my referee. My referee was looking right at the man. Like, you just blankly gonna cheat right in front of him. Wasn't able to use it. Keith Lee got the upper hand. Beat the snot out of him. And he said, since a certain cat had been trying to dodge me for so long, I might have to pull up at Dynamite just to show him who I'm here. And I ain't for the S. All that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, for the people that want Swerve to win that Triple Crown, that title ain't for him. It's not. Keith Lee is coming to screw that match up. The triple threat, he coming to screw that up. Your matchup at doggone World's End is going to be Keith Lee and Swerve. And I got Swerve going over at World's End. But, hey, we tying things together. This will give Swerve something to do. Like I said, this would be his third straight pay-per-view win. Great. I ain't got a problem with it. Swerve and Keith Lee about to do work. I can't wait for it. So let's see. We got Toni Storm, Mariah Luther holding the championship, and she talked about Rio looking like she's just nothing but a tiny thing that she can eat like a snack or something like that. I'm like, it is what it is. Toni Storm gonna make mincemeat of Rio at doggone World's End. That's that. And the AEW Women's Championship, that will mainly be on Collision. So if you really want to see the main title for the women, their storylines will be mainly focused on Saturday night, while the TBS title will be jumping back and forth between Rampage and Dynamite. That's how you do it. People want to be like, oh, cats ain't getting enough time and all this stuff. Oh, they will. Trust me. I mean, especially with word going out that Tony Khan thinking about bringing in women's tag team championships. Well, the tag team women's championships will be on Collision. You get my drift? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not doing that until towards the end of 2024. Early 2025 at best. I'm not doing it. I'm not, because like I said, they got to establish themselves. You got to establish what you want to do with said division. Now this segment, I'm going to be 100% with you. Was it a decent segment? It was okay, but to me it's just, I feel like we've done this before on other programs, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I get where you're trying to go with it, but I'm like, you know what? But it's Christian being who he is, you know. Christian Cage out there, Nick Wayne out there, they talking about Adam Copeland being a bum, being a joke. And next thing you know, Shayna Wayne comes out and she expresses herself. And as she was talking, the fans booed her, told her to shut the F up. I mean, just whatever she talked about why she aligned herself with Christian. She said he really is a true man, and Adam Copeland basically tried to end my son's career. So what you think I'm going to do? So obviously these two are quote unquote together now. Now it's a full family, father year. It is a joke. So the match is on. Christian accepted Edge's challenge. The no DQ match going down the doggone World's End. Same result. Christian needs to retain. I don't care what nobody got to say. I don't want to see Adam Copeland win that because it's not time. It is not time. Like I said, the only way Christian loses this is if Luchasaurus costs him. Other than that, I no. Christian Cage needs to walk in and walk out. You got the same exact result. That's all I'm looking for. But like I said, overall, this segment, to me, this be. Like I said, I'm being 100% with you. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but it's like this. Like, could it have been better? I'll give Shayna Wayne this. She wasn't flinching. She wasn't afraid of the big lights. But she was able to somewhat deliver what she was trying to say, and she just rolled with the doggone crowd because she knew she was going to get booed out the building. She already knew that. You know what I mean? But that's what happened when you hang out with Christian all day. But it is what it is on that. This segment. Now, I could have assumed that we was going to get a triple threat because I'm like, why don't you just integrate FTR, House of Black, make it a triple threat with Big Bill and Ricky? No. So the heels are the heels. They tried to make a joke of Kenny Omega's situation. I wasn't a joke, but that's just them being heels. Basically said that Kenny Omega's trying to chicken out because they knew that if they would have faced them at World's End, they would have been losing. So because we don't have no matchup, me and Big Bill are just going to party in doggone New York. Chris Jericho walks up to him. He walks up to them and he tells them, oh, you think we just going to kill the match because Kenny Omega is in the hospital? No. I got a partner of my choosing. And we're going to do work. We're going to win the doggone tag team titles at World's End. Now, the question I asked myself, who the clown of Chris Jericho going to join? Who's going to join Chris Jericho? I pray to God it's not Big Show. I pray to God. Tony Khan, do not have it be Paul White. Do not have it be Paul White. I pray to God it's not Paul White. Now, salute to the homeboy Duke. I don't know if my man be watching my YouTube channel or not, but he commented under my comment on what I said about the situation. He left a gif of Mr. Go Cry Me a River. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe this is the spot that we bring back Jack Perry. I know a lot of people want Jack Perry to be the devil. Maybe this is it. Maybe you bring him back as a tag team. I don't know what kind of reaction he's going to get. If that's the case, if he comes back and he joins Chris Jericho, I don't know. I have no clue. But you know what? I guess we would just have to wait and see. But I just pray to God it's not Big Show. That's all I want. I don't want it to be Big Show. Because if it's Big Show, I'm not going to give a rest behind about this match at all. I'm just not. We get to Brody King and Daniel Garcia. Now, DG has looked like a joke this whole time, but his storyline is he's the underdog that always underachieves. The fans be wanting him to win. Daddy Magic on commentary be wanting him to win, and he comes up short all the time, over and over and over again. Brody King ain't fight for nothing. He already lost multiple matches, so I said, maybe this is the time where DG finally gets his upset victory. Man, the crowd was so invested into this matchup, it didn't make no sense. They were so into this. Shout out to San Antonio, Texas. The man Seahawk, if y'all know who Seahawk was, he was there. These two, they did work. Like I said, to me, this might be my match of the night. These two, they as good as Brian and Claudio was. Brody King and DG was my match of the night. Man, DG got the upset victory. That crowd went bananas. Daddy Magic went nuts on commentary. So next thing you know, lights go off. Brody King about to jump him. Here come the rest of the boys in House of Black. Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews. They come out there. They finna beat the snot out of him. And then Daddy Magic tries to get in there to try to protect him. He gets laid out. He tried to protect him, tried to hover over him, and then they just laid him out too. So then that's when FTR came out there. They said, okay, y'all made a doggone promo about us joining your group. Fine, I'll be the guy at the house in the group drinking up tequila and just causing all kind of crazy stuff. Since you guys want a matchup that we ain't never had, we're going to do it. Now, I don't know if Tony Khan is putting this on the card or he's doing this for Collision next week. I don't know. Because the way how Dax was talking, he just said we're doing the matchup. But I'm like, where? Are we doing it on Collision? Are we doing it at World's End? I don't know. But decent segment, you know what I'm saying? Now, for me, the storyline, the story arc of DG is just beginning right now. This is DG's redemption story arc. I don't know if y'all keeping tabs on what's going on, but that's basically what Tony Khan and company is trying to tell with DG right now. It's his story arc. So you know what? I like that part. I thought this was pretty solid. You know what I mean? So very good segment if you ask me. We get to the women. Sky Blue and Julia Hart versus Thunder Rosa and Abaddon. Sky Blue, or as what we call her now, Sky Black, because she came out in all black. I said, she ain't Sky Blue no more. She's Sky Black. Abaddon came out, Julia came out, and Miss Thunder Rosa came out in her lowrider. Now, I was not looking at the doggone painting that was on the roof of the lowrider, but apparently it was the same lowrider that was in the movie, Selena movie or whatever. I couldn't help but think about Eddie Guerrero, man. Thunder Rosa looked great. It's good to see her back in the ring. Abaddon doing work. Julia Hart, I mean, listen, I know people are not really on Julia Hart's bandwagon, but the young lady continues to showcase why she's her. And Sky, listen, everybody knows, look, we all on the Sky Blue, or a.k.a. Sky Black bandwagon. These girls, they gave us a very good tag team match. It was a very good showing. All this was about Thunder Rosa getting back into the swing of things. She's been out for 16 months, y'all. I really didn't pay attention to how long she been out. It's good to see her. She got the victory. Did a doggone move on Sky Black. I said, that is the correct position. That's the correct outcome. Julia Hart had no business getting pinned. Tony Khan already announced on TV. He announced on Twitter. Julia Hart versus Abaddon for the TBS title at World's End. Great. I just kind of wish Tony Khan would let the women do it themselves. Like, all right, like I said, we could have had the matchup announced maybe a week or two ago. Like, you remember when they walked up to each other and she looked at her, and then she picked up the title? That right there, Julia Hart said, oh, you want a shot at this championship? You know what? I'll give you a shot, but you're going to have to find yourself a doggone. And see, this is when you bring in Sky Black, and now you set up the doggone tag team match, which what we got. And then, like, you want a shot? I'll give you a shot at doggone World's End, but you're going to have to beat me in the doggone tag team match. Something, you know what I'm saying? Just to speed things up, you know what I mean? But, hey, we got it. The matchup is going down. I like the fact that we got Abaddon week in, week out. It wasn't like she was here, then she disappeared. I know certain cats weren't really feeling it. I'm like, I'm on it because at least they're trying their best to tell the story. Could they do better? Heck yeah. They could do a whole lot better. But you know what? I'm cool with it. We got the matchup and settled. I'm looking forward to seeing Miss Julia Hart and Abaddon tangle it up one-on-one. Who is the real spooky queen of AEW? That's basically what that matchup is. So then we get to the main event. Eddie Kingston versus Andrade. Now, Miro storyline right now had to be put on hold. CJ Perry's wife, she had some kind of infection on her finger, and they said that if they didn't catch it, that would have spread it throughout her whole body. I don't know what the infection is, but she was showing it all online and everything. So just keep them in prayer and everything. And I say it just messes up so much. Because I personally believe Miro, he did say he was going to pull up from last week. He wasn't able to because he was with his wife. He was with CJ. So Eddie Kingston and Andrade went to war. They tore each other up. Andrade out here doing all these crazy moves and all this crazy stuff. Eddie Kingston with the messed up knee. It reminded me so much of Moxley, how Moxley's situation is. So a lot of people are automatically pointing to, oh, it's going to be Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I thought that at first too, but I'm going with Jay White to meet Eddie Kingston in the finals. Eddie Kingston got the upper hand, finished the deal even with the jacked up knee, got the victory, 1, 2, 3. He is going to the Continental Classic Finals at World's End for all 3 championships. I knew it. With him putting them titles on the line, that was basically a dead giveaway that Eddie Kingston was going to the finals. For the gold side, I'm sticking with Jay White because it's so predictable for it to be Moxley with the jacked up knee. It's predictable as heck. It's very predictable. If it's Eddie Kingston versus Moxley, very predictable. But Jay White, this is the redemption story for Jay White after he got fumbled being in the doggone AEW World Heavyweight Championship matchup at doggone Full Gear. Jay White versus Eddie Kingston for the doggone Triple Crown Championship. And I'm telling you right now, that title will be your main title for freaking Collision. I'm telling you, that's what you need to do. You want to establish these championships? Put that title with the TNT title on freaking Collision. With the trios titles, with the AEW Women's Championship. The main 4 titles, that's Collision right there. Now you know what to tune into Collision for. You get the doggone trios division. You get the AEW main women's title division. You get the doggone trios division. And now you get the Triple Crown, which will be the main title on Collision. Now you know what cats are fighting for over on Collision. You know the theme song. It's all right. Saturday nights are all right to fight, or whatever the clown Elton John song. That's that. So we are 1 week away from freaking World's End. I wish Tony Khan and them would pick up the pace because, again, storytelling is the key to getting people excited for freaking pay-per-views. Storytelling is the key. I don't care what nobody got to say. It ain't just the great wrestling that you're going to get. The great wrestling happens at the pay-per-view. It's the crazy, wild storylines that set you up for an amazing pay-per-view. Not no freaking lackluster building that don't nobody give a rat's behind about. Just being 100% with you. That's why I tell cats all the time. I don't sit up here and be all up on TK and act like he the best thing since sliced bread. No, I chop that boy up all the time because I know he can do a better job. And again, going into 2024, he better get himself a doggone writing team and he better doggone do a draft. I don't give a crap what nobody got to say. I don't care. Fools can tell me all I'm wrong. Like I said, couple of cats up in the comment section under that young lady Miss Lyrics Twitter handle. They was talking about, oh no, we don't need a draft. That's the problem with WWE right now. I'm like, look, yeah, they got their issues. I get it. I feel like cats be popping up on there, but they need to distinguish who's on Raw and who's on SmackDown. They need to make up their mind. But overall, I still feel like certain things feel important over there more so than what's going on in AEW land. I ain't got nothing else to say, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to come on here. I just want to come on here and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. For people who celebrate it, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever y'all do. Whatever you do, you enjoy yourself. Go be with your family. Do what you got to do. And hit the comment section up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all cats later. I'll let you boy.